Hi again. Now, the story so far in the bill. P.C. Quinnan has started to see Jenny, who's a nurse, but behind the back of his best friend, P.C. Garfield, who, as it happens, has just proposed to her, right? Yeah. But now Garfield's seen Quinnan kissing Jenny, and he's not very pleased.
Tell me who you've been trying to call all afternoon. You tell me about going round to Jenny's. About how you and Jenny stood on the public road with your arms wrapped round each other and your tongues down each other's throats. Well, go on, Dave. Mate.
Right, lads.
You are dead and buried. I can't be looking after you forever, you know.
And here they are, Hugh Higginson, who plays P.C. Garfield, and Andrew Paul, who's P.C. Quinnan. Nice to see it. And it's 2-hour-long episodes, and it's one's tonight and one's on Thursday, so it's all wrapped up in the 2 episodes, is it?
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much more or less.
And there's not a lot you can tell us, is there?
Apart from watch it.
How has it come to this? How has it come to 2 really good mates that should have fallen out over the woman?
Well, I think it's in the title, All's Fair in Love and War, isn't it?
Yeah,
and, well, I think it's a storyline that they grasped the opportunity, and it's a real corking couple of episodes.
What were the circumstances of you falling for Jenny then?
Well, way back at the beginning of the year, I got stabbed. There was a storyline of me getting stabbed, and I ended up in hospital, and she sort of like nursed my brow for. But he stepped in before I could get a chance of asking her out.
But although you proposed to her, she didn't accept. She said she wanted to think about it, didn't she?
Yeah, and sort of typical of the character as well. It doesn't really see what's coming. I mean, she's kind of saying, look, I'm really not ready for commitment, blah, 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 and he just goes straight through in. And before these 2 episodes started, it was actually left that she was going off to Colombia to do some voluntary services overseas. Right. And Garfield was left hanging as to whether she was going to say yes or no to his proposal, whilst Quinnan was sitting there kind of going, I'm glad she didn't say yes. Yes. So that actual clip that you've just seen now is actually from the 2nd episode. So that sort of tells you how it might go.
Tonight sets it all up.
Tonight Jenny returns. Garfield's desperate to see her, but of course, unbeknownst to Garfield, so's Quinnan.
And of course, the rest of the guys at Sandhill, aghast at what's going on here, are just desperate to keep the whole thing, to keep a lid on the whole thing, to stop you finding. You found out now, but to stop you finding out. And they're even radioing warnings ahead. Saying, oh, he's coming round.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
We see it here. The cover-up in full flow.
Is that him?
I think so, yeah. Is there a back way out there?
Yeah.
We'll use it. Not yet. What's George's going?
I've never done anything like that before in my life.
Neither have I.
Well, you're pretty rotten, aren't you? And so is she.
Yeah, well, as I say, all's fair in love and war.
You're well read. You're well read.
But it's been a move in a different direction for the bill over the last few months, and I think this sort of culminating in these 2 episodes. Really.
How would you sum that move up then? What, towards more personal storylines?
I think the show had to change. I mean, if it was going to survive, it had to change, and so they decided to go into the personal lives of the.
Yeah, I think there was a period, maybe 2.5 years ago, when it could have been any of the characters in the story, and as far as the audience were concerned, it seemed that they didn't seem to care who it was, because it could have been any of us. And I think the move was therefore designed to give the characters more depth and an extra dimension, if you like.
And they gave you an hour instead of
exactly, and they had to fill an hour. So it's been more challenging for the writers, the directors, and the actors.
You probably can't comment on this, but we did hear that you've got a great team writing the storylines, but because it's gone to an hour and it's on so often, they're not running short of ideas, but it's a bit kind of blind. There's only 3 plot lines left in the basket here.
Oh, yeah, they've got lots of new exciting ideas coming up. I mean, the fact is, when you've got a whole team of people working on it, then, you know, there's enough ideas floating around. I mean, there's some great stuff coming up involving Mark Winger's character, Carver. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a brilliant storyline.
How far ahead do you film?
Roughly between 6 and 8 weeks, although sometimes the episodes will be kept back if a story breaks in the news and it might not be appropriate to put an episode out, or sometimes they come through a lot quicker than that, but the average is 6 to 8 weeks.
It's terribly demanding. 2 hours a week. I mean, I know there's quite a lot of you in the cast, but even so...
But there's not another show on television that produces as much airtime on single camera. I mean, our show's single camera, not unlike something like EastEnders or...
What do you mean?
Well, there's only one camera, so rather than have multicam, where as we are now, you can cover all the angles with all the angles. We've got one camera, so therefore, if we wanted to shoot this on the single camera, we'd do the interview there, the interview there, the interview there, and so it'd be 4 times we'd have to do the interview. So therefore, it's a very quick turnover. We work quickly.
But you have to do. You have to shoot. This is like the old days, actually.
It's like doing news, isn't it?
But it's part of the bill as well.
It's like most television drama, if you like, a shot like that, or either on film or on
So you have
video.
to do the scene several times to get the different angles and then cut them together.
Why don't we just get another 2 or 3 cameras?
But there's also the thing that the show's signature for a long time was single camera.
Yeah.
And
I must say it's very dramatic. I mean, it's the way it cuts between each.
You can tell the difference between single camera and multi-camera. I mean, even as a viewer might not be aware of it, but subconsciously they are aware.
You know the first scene that we showed when you sort of say, you know, mate. Good line. And you had nothing to say in that scene at all, did you?
What could I say?
No, exactly. You know, nothing to say, Your Honour. But is it harder playing scenes when it all has to be through the expression than it is if you'd had a couple of lines there? Would that have been an easier scene?
I've always thought that the smaller things are sometimes more difficult. You know, I mean that hopefully gives it a performance a bit more depth. Yeah,
because I just love the way you play that. You're partly defiant, partly a bit cheeky, partly guilty, partly I don't care. I've got her, you haven't.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Great story.
Tonight.
Yep.
Thank you.